Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how running out of nutrition can negatively impact your training. And I'm going to teach you two things primarily. The first is how to know if you have run out of nutrients or you could use some more nutrients. And the second is one supplement I have found recently which has been very useful to my training, which I don't think is particularly common knowledge. Alright. So how do you know when you could use some more nutrients for your training? It's basically the same as any sort of supplementation, but you have to compare how your body reacts to the training to how an optimal human should react to muscle training stimulus. And an easy way of doing this is comparing yourself to a beginner. So a beginner basically has never touched weight in their lives, and they have been eating food their whole lives, so hopefully they've accumulated a huge pool of nutrients within their muscles, which they can just use at once to generate more muscle training results and reactions to the muscle training stimulus. So the further away you are from a beginner's reaction to the training, potentially the less nutrients you have in reserve. Now, how does a beginner feel after they train? The obvious first thing is they feel incredibly sore. So I think anyone watching who has been a beginner in the gym before, which hopefully is most people, can remember after their first deadlift where they just felt horrific for the first week or so and just didn't want to get out of bed. And then following that, that soreness is much of the time greatly diminished. The second time you do it is not so bad. The third time you do it is mostly okay. And by the fourth time, you can probably do it again after another 2 or 3 days. So you hear something similar when often online people ask, how do I stop feeling so sore from doing squats or something? And usually the answer is, oh, just do it more often. Just squat 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And they're right. You will stop feeling sore if you squat more often. But it's not the direction you want to go in. By squatting more often, you're not generating some magical adaptation to the squat. What you're doing is using up the nutrients your body uses to generate the inflammation and stimulate the repair process from the squat. So while you might stop feeling sore, your body is not optimally repairing the muscles. Alright, so what's the second one? Strength gains, obviously. So a beginner will get a lot of strength gains from neuromuscular adaptation and quite a lot from growing muscles, I'm sure. So it's fairly difficult to pass out the nutrition benefit of that. But we know beginners gain muscle a lot faster than more experienced lifters, and I think at least a portion of that is due to the huge nutrient pool they've built up in their muscles. So you might imagine a more experienced guy who has been doing his bench press and he's maybe plateaued on 80 kilograms for 10 reps for the last 3 months or so. And is that his natural limit? I don't think so. I don't think anyone gets to a natural limit at 80 kilograms for 10 reps on bench press. And if he's somewhat training properly, then it's more likely to me that he has run out of some nutrient which is required to build his muscles back up stronger, which is causing his plateau. In some cases, this will be protein. In others, not. And I think everyone knows about protein, but no one really thinks about the other micronutrients which are required to generate mitosis in the muscle cell and stimulate inflammation in the muscle cell and generally support the repair process. Alright, so what's the third thing? The third thing is the pump. So for me, I use the pump as a health metric the whole time. I think it's a very good one because you can go to a gym, try and get a pump, and immediately tell if you're able to get a pump or not. So what does not being able to get a pump tell you? It tells you that you're your veins in your muscle are unable to vasodilate correctly in response to a training stimulus. If you had the resources, your body would like to get a pump because it allows you to get more nutrients into the muscle to help the repair process along. Alright, so say you have one of these problems. You are not getting sore after you exercise, or you're not getting stronger, or you're not getting a pump, or some other aspect whereby your training reaction is not what it should be. Like what nutrient do you need to fix it is unfortunately an incredibly difficult question. I do not have all the answers, and even if I did, I don't have enough time to tell them all today. But I have got one nutrient which I think you'd be interested in, which I have discovered recently in my endless experimentation, and that is vitamin C. So I used to take vitamin C. I've always taken a lot of vitamin C. I was taking about a gram a day. But recently I increased my vitamin C dose from 1 gram a day to about 8 to 10 grams a day. A much larger dose. And one of the results I found from this was that when I went to the gym, I got a lot sorer afterwards. Like just waking up the next day was horrible. And it has been ever since. So if you are one of the people who do not get sore after they work out, then one potential thing to try is a large vitamin C dose. I don't think anyone really takes vitamin C for bodybuilding except me, but maybe that can increase to you guys as well if you want to give it a go. Alright, that's all for today. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.